Alright, video game warriors, welcome back to our Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD 100% walkthrough series. Hopefully you're doing alright. This is part 12. Let's get cracking because we've got a lot to do. And first of all, we have to take on the challenge of the Silent Realm. So all we need to do here is walk up to these butterflies, and then we need to press X to whip out the old harp. And then we need to move the right stick left and right to strum the harp. And then we need to do that again. So just strum the harp in motion with this sort of like circle motion thing that's going off here. So we're going to play the old harp, have a little sing-song with Fee here. Fee's having a good old sing. And that is that. So this is going to sort of like activate the trial itself. The trial is a bit tricky, to be totally fair. We have these guardians that will try to sort of like chase us and attack us. And in this challenge realm, or this like trial realm, we actually can't attack. We don't have our sword. So all we need to do is walk up to this thingy, press A, and then pull down on the right stick to thrust that sword into the ground there. And that's going to take us over into this trial in the Silent Realm. So we get a little bit of a sort of like tutorial from Fee here. But essentially what we need to do is grab these tears. Well, first of all we get this. So this is the spirit vessel, and this is essentially what we sort of like collect the tears in. So these things are the tears, and we need to like run around this area and collect these. 15 of them in total, and that's essentially what we need to do to like pass this trial, pass this challenge, and like prove ourselves. These are the guardians. These are the things that will chase us. So we should be able to take a look at that now, and I'll show you exactly how that works. So if we are inside this circle, we are safe, so good. But if we go out of the circle, the guardians are gonna try to chase us down. So the guardians are now very, very angry, and they'll run towards you very fast. But if you pick up this tier, it will reset the guardians, and it will halt them for 90 seconds. So good stuff. So if you look up the top left, you'll see like the flower and the petals. So the petals will be like fading away. That's the 90 seconds that we have. So keep your eyes on those petals up the top left there as we play through. And then we've got these things, light fruits. So these will essentially put massive light beacons over the sacred tears for 30 seconds, so it highlights the positions of the tears that we're looking for. Well, it highlights them for 30 seconds. So yeah, that's generally how that works. So we could just run and pick up these light fruits. We also get this new treasure, so this is a brand new treasure, the Dusk Relic. Very, very similar to the Amber Relic, but you can only find the Dusk Relics in these Silent Realms. So they are quite rare, and it is worth keeping your eyes peeled for them as we progress through. So that is that, essentially. We'll just have a look for Dusk Relics while I'm talking about them. Nice, we'll grab that. And then if we head around this section, we've also got these little ghost type thingies with the lights. The radius of their light it's like the detection radius is actually a little bit larger than the light. So don't just like stay out of the circle of light, but like stay even further away than that specific circle, because the detection radius tends to be a bit larger than the actual light itself. Anyway, so we're going to grab this tier, and if you keep your eyes on the petals up the top left, if we pick that tier up, you know, the petals are going to sort of like reset back to 90 seconds again. So next we're just going to work our way over up these vines, do a few jumps. Don't forget you can press A to jump while climbing on the vines. Grab this tier up here, and then we're going to jump down. Just be very careful about this water. So I think Fee is going to tell us about this water. I forget the name of it. Waking water. Guardians will be immediately alerted to your presence. So yeah, don't stand in that. Otherwise the Guardians will chase you. We'll just grab this Dusk Relic, grab the tier, and then just be careful. We also had to hold B there, just to throw that out there. We had to hold B to sort of like get up that log and climb up that log. Grab this tier, we'll go through the crawl space here, grab this light fruit, just keeping my eyes peeled for Dusk Relics. See if we can grab any while we explore. So let's take a little gander up this section. We'll grab this tier just up at the top. Oh, we got a goddess plume. I think that was there. Nice. Some treasure, some extra treasure. I'll take it. Why not? So yeah, let's just keep working our way around. We've got one over here across the tightrope. So let's work our way over this tightrope. Just be careful of the water underneath us. You don't want to fall down into that. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. So grab this tier, and then we want to sort of like jump off in this direction. Be careful of that waking water once again. We've got a Dusk Relic that we could steal, and potentially one here, but these lights once again are, you've got to be really cautious of the detection radius on those lights there. They can be, yeah, they can be a little bit tricky. We'll get this one just off the side there. We'll get this one in front of that Guardian. Don't worry, the Guardian's not going to get us, even though we are super close to it. And get that Dusk Relic. I think we can create a shortcut back to the starting area. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create that shortcut now, because we might need to run for our lives later. So I'm going to go up here, push that log. That's going to create a shortcut back to that starting section. That's important in a minute because we will need to head back there. And then I'm going to wait for this little ghost thing to sort of like go away. I'm going to jump off this ledge, grab this Dusk Relic, and then this tier. The back there, and then how many more have we got? We've got 3 more. If we grab this one down this slope, and then we've got one that way and one that way. This water, you got to be really careful with this water here, because this water kind of like hides itself underneath the section there and then it comes back out. So if you're not careful about this specific bit of water, it might get you. But it's okay if it does. I'll show you a little trick in a sec. So we'll just grab this tier down here, and we've got one more tier left to get. Oh, there's also a Dusk Relic in this tree, so if you roll into this, might be able to get an extra one. So this, if the Guardians have spotted you, just like we did at the start of this section, you can pick up a tier to reset the Guardians. So if, worst case scenario, if you do, for example, walk into that, and then the Guardians start to wake up, don't worry too much, you can just run straight into the tier. And that's the last one. And it also resets the Guardians' positions. Well, it resets the Guardians' positions when you pick up a tier. Not the last one specifically, just any tier. As you make your way back off of that platform, just be super careful not to walk into the water. Especially because that was the last tier. So if you did get detected at this point, what you'd have to do is like run all the way back to the start with all of the Guardians chasing you all the way back to the start of this section. But as long as you get inside that sort of like circle, you're totally fine. But either way, just make your way back up to that section where you pushed that log and created the shortcut. And then we can head back to the starting circle bit here. And that's it. Sorted, video game warriors. So that is the first trial done. We are rewarded with this dragon's scale. Nice. If you got any questions or anything about the Silent Realm there, feel free to let me know in the comments. Or if you've got any hints, tips or tricks of your own video game warriors, then please do leave those in the comments as well. In terms of the actual main game at this point, we can just push forward. You'll notice that the sort of like woodland area has changed a little bit, so there's like new enemies and it's a little bit tougher at this point. So the game kind of like ramps up in difficulty a little bit at this point of the main story progress, which is very, very common in Zelda games. You'll see that used again and again and again in all Zelda games. Let's grab this grasshopper here. For example, in A Link to the Past, the difficulty ramps up when you reach the Dark World. Anyway, let's push on forward. I'm just trying to think. I think there's a heart piece just knocking about down here. So if we look around this section and then sort of like jump off down here, I'm pretty sure we can grab an extra heart piece. If we look for these rocks against this wall, we can whip out the old bomb, pop a bowling ball towards there. Thinking about the difficulty in Zelda games, I think it's a little bit different in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because they've got like a slightly different sort of like enemy scaling system that's at play in the background of the game. Anyway, blow up these rocks, grab this piece of heart, and now we've got 3 pieces of heart to go until we get an extra heart container. So far, so good, video game warriors. We're making some good progress. But yeah, I think in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, the enemies kind of like scale up. There's some kind of like secret experience points system that's at play. That's kind of like happening in the background of the game. Anyway, there's a goddess cube up there. We should be able to get that not too far from now. But moving on with the main game, we can now actually swim underwater because we've got that scale, the dragon scale. So if you hold A and sort of like pull down on the left stick, I'm not sure if you tap A if it's any faster. No. We've also got this air gauge, so you can swim into those bubbles and that will replenish your air gauge. So we're just holding down A and then sort of like moving the left stick. You can also push in the left stick, like click in the left thumbstick, and it does like a dash forward, like a swim dash forward. So we are now inside the great tree. So if you click in the left stick while swimming, he does this. Although this is a really terrible place to show you because there's loads of stuff on the screen. But yeah, you click in the left thumbstick and you do like a spin forward while swimming, which is a little bit faster. It sort of like helps you swim a little bit faster, but it also like consumes air gauge. So just keep in mind that that is going to be smashing through your air gauge if you keep clicking in the left thumbstick to do the dash thing. Alright, so moving on forward, inside this tree, this bit is a little bit fiddly, to be totally fair. You basically have to like swing these platforms using the old gust thing, but there is like loads of these enemies that are floating around, and they can sometimes like fly into you and be a bit of a pain. I'm going to try and like swing that and then jump across. Just be very, very careful of these enemies. You can use the gust thing to obviously like blow the enemies into things, but sometimes they don't always go far enough and they kind of just linger around somewhere. Anyway, what we can do, I think there's a secret treasure chest hidden in this section. So if we sort of like follow this around, just keep an eye on your rupees at this point as well, video game warriors, because the treasure up the top of here I think is like 300 rupees, so it's many rupees, and you don't want to be over your maximum. So just check how many rupees you've currently got and make sure you've got enough space before opening this treasure chest over here. We can slingshot that bad boy and then just completely ignore him and grab this. So if memory serves, we can hold 1,900 rupees. This is 300 in here. So a gold rupee, nice. So that is that. The objective here is to get down to that exit, that door down there. So we might be able to do that if we sort of like... Let's take this enemy out here. Shield bash there coming in. Clutch. I needed to horizontally slice that, but it... there we go. Anyway, so what we can do is, I think if my memory serves, we might be able to sort of like cheese this a little bit. So if you get to this section, you might be able to like drop down that sort of left bit towards the exit, that platform down there, although it doesn't always work. So that only just worked, and the intention is to get onto this platform here. But yeah, just to kind of like show you this section, if you needed to sort of like do this normally, you would just go over those platforms there and just use the gust bellows to sort of like swing the platforms. You would swing them, the first one onto the second one would then swing onto this ledge over here, and you could just make your way over like that as well. Just use the gust bellows and the slingshot and stuff to sort of like get these enemies out the way and sort of like make it easier and give yourself a clear path to swing over there. And then once we are over, just head on outside this door, and then we've got some tree climbing to do. If you wanted to nab at yourself one of these birds, feel free to slowly approach. We probably could do with some more bird feathers in the old collection. I think we just got a 2-for-1 there. Brilliant. I'll take it. So we just... Where are the bird feathers? Yeah, we've got 3. So not too bad. Not too bad. So moving on forward, the game has given us some Deku seeds here. Once again, fantastic game design from Nintendo. The Deku seeds are important because these spiders will be on the vines. The birds do come back, by the way, just to throw that out there. There is a hornet thing here. Hornet larvae, larva. You can grab that if you want to. No idea how to pronounce that item's name. So I'll just pronounce it as all words. Anyway, so moving on forward, we're just gonna climb up these vines. Just be careful of like spiders and stuff as we climb up here, because it can be a bit messy with all the things that are blocking our path. Whip out the old slingshot again, give these guys the old slingshot treatment, and grab some Deku seeds there as well. You might be noticing some goddess cubes knocking about around this section. We will grab them. I think if my memory is serving me, there's 3 of them that we can get here. But what we ideally want to do is like get a bird statue so we can like fast travel to it later. Well, not fast travel, but kind of fast travel. So what we want to do is work our way to that door behind this dude. If you want to make this a little bit easier, you can slingshot this guy and then attack him a few times and then back up and just play it safe. It can be a little bit fiddly because this bridge is very thin. It's like when you attack this enemy, it kind of like slides Link everywhere. So yeah, it's a bit... it can be a bit trickier for sure. You can slingshot him in the head if you can get that over there. The idea, I think, is to sort of like slice the shield. Don't forget that we can use our shield to block and to shield bash as well. So you might want to be like shield bashing a few times here. It's quite difficult to see what's going on. I think he might have knocked us into the area transition. No. Yeah, like I say, it's a bit fiddly and a bit messy with this fight, because you can be pushed, like the enemy's sort of like hitbox and hurt box is quite large, and you can be pushed all sorts of left, right and up, down and all sorts of places there. But yeah, just try and make your way past this enemy the best that you can do. Technically speaking, you can just run past him as well if you want, so if you can find a way to just run, you could just use the slingshot to slingshot him and then just run past. Perhaps that would be a good way to do it. Anyway, so moving on forward, we've now got access to this bird statue, which is good stuff. We're going to make use of this bird statue a lot because we need to work our way back up to the top of this tree many times. And we're going to use that bird statue to do that basically. So here we're just going to slice and dice these guys. If you want to slice them towards the left to try and make them like not fall off, feel free to give that a try. Although that guy wasn't making it easy for us. But yeah, if you can slice them to the left, absolutely go for it. They might stay on and you might get some extra treasures if you do it that way. But sometimes easier said than done with these enemies because they can be a little bit all over the place. Anyway, what we'll do first of all is just work our way up to the top of this tree. You can roll into that. Those vines and some bugs will fall down. So far so good, video game warriors. So this is a little cutscene type thing here. We get introduced to another NPC. And if my memory serves here, this NPC tells us about a little secret area and like how to progress the main storyline of the game. So we can just hit this guy with a slingshot thing, or perhaps you could use a beetle, whatever works for you. So just say whatever to this guy. He's then going to tell us about like the dragon's secret location, or where to go essentially, which is through this door. And we have to do some kind of like certain symbol or like special symbol. Let's just see what it says. The gate is down in the south, so it's likely that there's a matching symbol somewhere up the north. Try searching near this X. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I can't remember exactly what the symbol is. We have to like memorize some kind of symbol, and we have to like draw it with the sword. Anyway, so that is that, and then we can push on forward. So what we could do now is, I'm pretty sure there's like 3 goddess cubes knocking around somewhere close to us. So if we have a look around, I think there's one directly below us. So what we're probably going to do here is use the bird statues to sort of like fly up to the sky and then make our way back to the top of this tree and then drop down, get another goddess cube and rinse and repeat. So there's one that is right beneath us here. I'm going to try and remember the best way to do this. I'm going to try and line this camera up. I'm pretty sure if we jump sort of in this direction we should be good, or maybe even hang. Sailcloth, that should do, and then jump and then sailcloth. So that's one. We'll grab that. So one of the goddess cubes. I'm pretty sure there's 3 around this tree if my memory serves. So far so good. So that's one of them. And then what we need to do is basically make our way back up to the top of the tree and then rinse and repeat that process. So if we jump on down, there's one here. You know what? We might be able to make use of our beacon ability. Why not? So if we look in front of us, where is that? It's on top of there. So if we pop that roughly around there, that's probably going to be roughly around where the goddess cube is. I'm not sure if I called those goddess cubes goddess statues earlier, did I? Can't remember. I meant goddess cubes if I said statues. Anyway, there's another one on that little section right in front of us. Let's try for there perhaps. Maybe a bit further in. Not bad. I want to try and ideally get it as close to it as possible, but I guess that's probably going to do for now. Anyway, so the idea is if we head to this bird statue and we'll follow this around here. Well, while we're here, we might as well check this red cross, which I think is this thing. So if we look at this sort of like symbol, it's like a 2 sort of like crescents and then a circle. So we'll use that symbol, and we'll remember that symbol, and we'll utilize that symbol in just a sec. So like 2 crescents and then a circle. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return to the sky and then instantly go back. Just because it lets us get back up to the top of the tree without going all the way through the inside of the tree every single time. So all I'm going to do is just turn around, straight back into here, dive, and we should have access to something called like top of the tree or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. The Great Tree. So we've got in the woods, the Great Tree, viewing platform. Yeah, it must be this one. So we'll go for the Great Tree and then press yes. We're going to dive back in, video game warriors. So hopefully the beacons that we placed are still there. Looks like they are, so that's good. We've got one just to that side, and then we've got one down this side as well. So I think on this one we have to go to a different platform. I think it's that platform there. Just going to give these bats the old one too. Yeah, something in my memory is telling me it's like this section here. So I'm going to try for a jump. Sort of like in that direction. Let's go for that. I'm going to line it up so like I can just hold down, essentially, is what I'm trying to do. Or maybe we could just hang and then drop. Try to remember the best way to do it. I think it's a jump. Let's go for a jump. Yes, it is. Just made it. So a little bit tricky for sure, but you can always go back up to the bird statue. If it doesn't play ball, just go back up to the bird statue, which we will be doing in just a sec. Yeah, that one took a little while for me to remember. I couldn't remember if it was like a hang and then drop or a jump. But if you've got any better tactics or an easier way to do that, video game warriors, then please do feel free to let us know in the comment section about that goddess cube. Anyway, moving on forward. You know the drill by now, video game warriors. We're just going to return back to this bird statue once again, and then press on this, and then press return to sky, and then yes. Also, video game warriors, if you are enjoying this video, then please do pop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from me, pop a comment and let me know how you're getting on with Skyward Sword so far. Hopefully you're enjoying your playthrough. I think this game is absolutely fantastic. I love it very, very much. But yeah, let me know how it's going. Let me know if it's your first time playing Skyward Sword or if you played it before on the Nintendo Wii. I'd love to know. So we're just going to dive back in once again. And great tree. And yes, there we go. I think it'd be nice if you could like press on a bird statue and then like fast travel to another bird statue that you might have already unlocked, like while you're in Farron Woods, if that makes sense. I think that'd be quite cool. If you could do that, but all good. We'll just do it this way. So once again, we've got another goddess cube, and this one, I don't know if maybe a hang down on this one might be decent. Don't forget we can move the camera. I think probably a hang down and a drop. I'd love it if we could see our shadow on this drop, but we can't, so I'm just going to take a wild guess and go for something like that. Brilliant. That'll do. That'll do. So we can charge up the sword and Skyward Strike. And that's 3 of the goddess cubes. So we got that heart piece earlier from behind those rocks. We got the goddess cubes, the 3 goddess cubes from this section. We had a look at that symbol a little bit earlier, so we got the symbol, which was like crescent, crescent, and then circle. So we should be able to head towards that area of the game. So let's jump on down here. We could also put a beacon. If you want to make your life a little bit easier, you can pop down a beacon. I think the way to go is like that way. So I'm going to saw a red rupee, I think. Might need to grab it. Yes, indeed, I did see one. So I'm going to whip out the old beetle. I'm going to hold ZR to speed up the beetle. Don't forget we upgraded the beetle, so we can hold ZR to sort of like fly around and grab some extra bits and bobs. So we're looking pretty topped up on rupees at this point, to be totally fair. We probably should spend those not too far from now. But we'll head on over here, jump across. I saw an amber relic, so I'm going to go and grab it. And essentially, we're just working our way towards this beacon that we popped down. Any treasures? No treasures. Let's give these the old one too. And then if we work our way towards here, this is the thing that we saw, the symbol that we saw. So I just saw another red rupee. I'm going to go and steal it. So hold ZR for like speedy beetle stuff. Grab that bad boy. Nice. quite like exploring with the beetle. I think it's cool to just like look around and stuff. It also lets you explore the game's art, because you can sort of like see the art a bit better if you get up close to it. So it's like, although the beetle will stop at a certain point, so you can see, I wonder if that's just like a 2D image there in the background. At the mountain top there. So, if we hold our sword up at this point, and then we need to do like a drawing. So, looking at this symbol, the crescent thingies are already here, so I would imagine, and this is going on memory here, I would imagine the answer is a circle. Although it's not the greatest looking circle in the world. But it seems to be the answer. So I think Nintendo have kindly taken into account that I might not be able to draw a perfect circle there. Right, okay, so that is that. We can push on forward and head on through here. Don't forget, if you had some of that like mushroom glitter spores, you can actually put that onto these heart flowers and it turns the heart flowers into fairies. So you could do that if you wanted to. And I believe, Video Game Warriors, this is the way forward. Also, Video Game Warriors, I have released my own video game on Steam called Loki the Lynx. It's a 2D platformer collectathon where you've got to collect shiny coins and collect shiny keys and rescue Loki's friends from the dastardly Dr. Amygdala. It took me 12 months to make. It's got controller support in there. It's got loads and loads of Steam achievements. If you enjoy the content that I create and you want to support me as a content creator and as an indie game developer, then please consider buying Loki the Lynx on Steam and popping it a positive review. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and a link in the video description as well if you want to head on over and check it out. Thank you very much if you do. Right, so we're gonna dive on in, Video Game Warriors. Dive on into our destiny. So yeah, new area of the game, Lake Floria. And we're just going to swim on down here. Don't forget you can click in the left thumbstick to do the spin. The old spin dash. Not like Sonic's spin dash, but Link's spin dash in the water. So yeah, we're going to go and check out this new area, and we've got these new NPCs. I think if memory serves, we essentially have to like chase this NPC or like follow the NPC. So we can do that. We could get some like treasure and stuff on the way, so keep your eyes peeled for the treasure. I think the NPCs here will like tell you about the spin dash thing. If you talk to them, they'll tell you about the spin dash. But you just click in the left thumbstick and there we go. So we can smash through that and we'll say take me to your leader and work our way through this new section. What I quite like about Skyward Sword is it's different to the other Zeldas. Like, it's the same kind of formula of the game. In a way, it's like the same kind of like game progression formula, but it's like not got the exact same NPCs as the other Zeldas. Like for example, this doesn't have, as long as my memory serves here, this doesn't have like Zora in it, or Zora's domain and stuff like that. So it's just cool, as it's a little bit different, that's all. Anyway, moving on forward with the quest at hand. So basically with these thingies here, you can sort of like spin dash into them and it will knock the thing into the rocks and then explode on the rocks like that. So the idea is that you sort of like spin into these things, and then they hit the rocks and then they explode. You can talk to these NPCs as well if you want to. So what we'll do is we'll just work our way through this section, and we'll just do the spin attack into these. That's going to hit those rocks behind him. We've also got a silver rupee, so we're going to bag that. Rupees are looking quite full, so we're going to have to spend those at some point soon. I think that's the way to go. So we'll work our way and progress through that in a minute. That's kind of like where the leader is. However, there are some additional rocks and stuff that we can have a little look behind. Once again, more rupees. So we'll grab those. We got 20 and 20. Nice. I'm not sure if that's all of them. I think it is. And something's telling me that there's also a goddess cube knocking about somewhere. Like my memory database is screaming goddess cube somewhere. But in terms of this room, just double check you've got all the little bits and bobs around the sides. We've blown up all the rocks and stuff, and we can progress forward. So that is that. I'm just being thorough and making sure that we've got all the stuff. Video game warriors. The goddess cube, I think, is in the next section of this area. I'm just having a little peek. Yep, that looks good to me. So yeah, it must be the next section. My treasure sensors are tingling, you see. So I know there's one around here somewhere. This bit, I think we need to do like a spin dash upwards, and you can kind of like do a dash up out of the water. This is quite cool because this is taken from, I think, Majora's Mask. In Majora's Mask you can do like a little sort of dash up and then over out of the water. In Majora's Mask you can turn yourself into a Zora and then swim underwater and stuff. Let me know in the comments if you played Majora's Mask and where you rate that on your Zelda games list. So just having a little look around here, I think the goddess cube is somewhere very, very close. So if we do the dash thing up here, although it's a little bit fiddly as you can see. Let's have a little gander around. I'm pretty sure there's something knocking about. So if we follow this path around, here we go. My treasure sensors were correct. So we're going to whip up the old sword, Skyward Strike, and activate this goddess cube. And that is another goddess cube in the bag, video game warriors. Nice work. Let's have a little gander at what else is knocking about around here. I don't think there's anything too crazy. This guy's wants to give us a hug. I think there might be a treasure chest or something as well, actually. But let's just have a little look around and see what's popping. In fact, I've just noticed it. It is over there on the far side. So let's work our way around. I think this might be rupees once again, so just be careful of your rupees. If you want to double check, just press the plus button and then press on the actual wallet itself. We can currently hold 1,900, so we should be good to open this. Let's have a look. Goddess plume. Not rupees, but I'll take it. Treasure either way. So I'm happy with that. Right, so moving on forward, there is an amber relic there. I'm not sure if it's really worth the spin dash here, but I think if you wanted to grab that, you would probably spin dash up. Although that might not be called a spin dash. I just keep calling it a spin dash, but right, so moving on forward, we're just going to follow this NPC once again. So just keep on following the NPC through this area. keep your eyes peeled for like treasures and stuff as we swim through. You might find there's like those amber relics knocking about and a few other bits and bobs as we swim through. So I think this is just a little underwater combat section, and this is quite interesting because it kind of serves as a tutorial as well. So once again, this is absolutely fantastic game design from Nintendo. I think they're masters of their craft, because this is like part of the main story and part of the main game, but at the same time is also serving as a you know, swimming and like underwater tutorial type thing. And I just think Nintendo are like really good at doing that. They're sort of like, they integrate the tutorials into the gameplay itself. You could grab a fairy there if you wanted to. So instead of like hitting you with like 17 pages of text about tutorials, like, you know, this is how you swim, like hold A to swim, and then reading through 17 pages, they just kind of like throw you into the game and go, if you want to progress through the game, here are the things that you need to do. And it kind of like just naturally introduces you to all of these mechanics, and naturally introduces you to these spin attacks underwater and the enemies and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I just think it's really cool. I don't know about you, video game warriors. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments about Nintendo's game design. Anyway, so moving on forward, this NPC is actually a key. So the NPC is going to stick its head into that door and turn. So that is that. I don't think there's anything else too crazy in this section. I'm just looking out for rocks and stuff that we might be able to get some extra rupees or treasures and stuff, but other than that, nothing too crazy. We can just push on forward into the main section of this area. So this is the leader. And also, just to sort of like touch on the game design, the subject once again, is we've got an upcoming dungeon which actually uses all of these mechanics. So we're kind of like being naturally introduced to these mechanics here, but then we have to like really put these mechanics to the test in the upcoming dungeon, without an NPC kind of like helping us along the way. So I just think it's really good design. But yeah, other than that, I'm just looking around for any extra rupees or treasures and stuff in this section, but I don't think there's anything too crazy. Might be able to take a look to see if you can do one of those dashes up the top there. See if there's anything worth grabbing. There is a treasure chest over that side, and also over that side as well. So yeah, definitely worth grabbing those. So we'll hop back in the water and head over this direction and do the dash up here, and we'll follow this around. Also, video game warriors, don't forget I've got over 1,200 videos uploaded to this channel, so if you want any other game guides, tutorials, hints, tips and tricks, I've got you covered. Silver rupee in there, 100 rupees, so once again just be careful of your maximum rupees at this point before popping open that treasure chest. But yeah, loads and loads of videos on this channel. I've created YouTube videos and you know, game guides for like 8 years, so a lot of my guides are games that are like dude with a sword fighting epic bosses, a bit like Zelda and Link. So loads and loads of, you know, dude with a sword fighting epic bosses. Evil crystal, treasure in there. So feel free to take a look through those guides and tutorials, beginners guides. There is a game releasing tomorrow that's called Neo 3, and I've got a 100% walkthrough series for Neo 2, and I've got a beginner's guide for Neo 2 as well. So I recommend checking that out if you wanted to get into the Neo series. Anyway, moving on forward, we can go talk to this NPC and say hello skis. So we're looking for the water dragon, and we're looking for the sacred flame. So we can talk to this dragon and say, yes, we're going to help you out. I think we need to get sacred water, if I'm not mistaken. So what we'll do is exit to the woods. Brilliant. So what we'll do, Video Game Warriors, is head towards that exit, and we've got to go and get some sacred water. So if we swim towards the back of this room, and then spin dash up and out, we can head on out here. Just a note about the upcoming sacred water. In fact, hold that thought. I'm going to try the harp, perhaps. Yeah, it has activated one of these gossip stones. So let's see what the gossip stone has to say. We also get a treasure for activating the gossip stone. Drawing a symbol of love upon certain walls will heal all your wounds. Nice. So that is that. I've got access to this bird statue as well now, so this is another sort of like fast travel point that we can make use of. Let's just check what's up here real quick. Alrighty then, so this is going to bring us back to Farron Woods by the looks of things, and it looks like we can create a shortcut here as well. So if we hold A to grab this and then push this forward, we've got ourselves a shortcut and we're back at Farron Woods. So what we'll do is we'll just follow this around. If we look for a bird statue, what we need to go and do next is grab ourselves some sacred water to unlock the next dungeon. So what we shall do is we need to head towards the first dungeon of the game. It's also worth mentioning, I was just about to mention this a second ago, I think, is that we need to have an empty bottle. So you are going to need an empty bottle to grab the sacred water. So make sure that you've got at least one empty bottle with you on this journey that we're about to do. It might be worth popping back to the item check-in right now if you wanted to get more empty bottles, but what I'm going to do is just drink that red potion so that we've got an empty bottle. So we're going to sort of fly back up, fly back down into here again, so we're going to head straight back into Farron Woods, and we need to head to the top one that's called Forest Temple, and if we press yes on this, that's going to drop us at the first dungeon of the game. Once again, like I mentioned, if you wanted to get yourself another empty bottle for this journey and you didn't want to drink this one, then head back to the item check-in and let's swap out an item for another empty bottle. But what I'm going to do is just drink the potion just so that we've got an empty bottle. So let's chug that potion. That'll do. So we're just going to work our way through this dungeon. You can also play the harp here, it would seem. We've got 3 butterflies, so we could play the harp against this wall. We've got this NPC that's going to say hello skis. He says, have you come here to do some treasure hunting? Yep. So what we could do is hold up the sword and charge that bad boy next to this, and you can draw stuff on the wall. I think I'm going to try and draw a rupee, even though it's probably not going to end up looking like a rupee at all, which I mean, it's not bad. It seems to be okay. We actually got a silver rupee there as well, so Awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that give a silver rupee in my life. But yeah, you can draw stuff on there and it gives like different things. In that case, it was a silver rupee. So awesome, yeah. Brilliant stuff. So this one is a real quick dungeon. It's kind of just like, you know, the first dungeon, but just faster. So all we need to do is find a small key real quick. I don't know if the small key is always in the same position. I think it potentially is. So if you jump down into this water, down here, we need to, I believe it's through here, and then swim up until we get to these vines. And then if we dig in this specific spot here, I'm pretty sure my memory is working. Video game warriors, brilliant. That's what we want. So we're going to grab that small key, just dig that hole there. I'm not sure if there's any more like little treasures and stuff knocking around in this dungeon. Feel free to have a look through this room here and stuff if you want to. I don't think there's anything too crazy in this room, to be totally fair. We can dig our way in and out of anything. Good to know where that key went. I got to get back to hunting for treasure. Yeah, so I think that's just hints about where the key is. But, you know, we've got the key. So, it's all good. We don't need any more hints. So yeah, moving on forward, we can just sort of like work our way towards this door at the back. I think we've got a new enemy there as well, which is quite interesting. Got like a... I think he just shot the beetle, which I don't think I've ever seen an enemy do that before, which is quite interesting. Anyway, yeah, the intended way to go is just through this door here. Once again, I'll just point out that you do need an empty bottle, so just keep that in mind as we progress through this dungeon. It's not really like a full dungeon, it's just a really quick, you know, few minute run through, essentially. I'm not sure if there's anything in there. I've got some kind of memory of a mini-boss of some kind in here, but because we got this shortcut earlier when we made our first way through this area, we can now just go straight through that shortcut and you know, progress through this mini dungeon. So we've just placed ourselves just behind a mushroom there, just to make our life a little bit easier. So I'm just using that mushroom as defense as we kind of just work our way through this I guess mini dungeon, and then we're just gonna balance on through here. So we don't have to do the whole dungeon again or anything like that. It's literally just a quick run through to this back room. The NPC is going to say hello, skis. What's he say? I've found nothing. Talk about bad luck. There's nothing here but water. Brilliant. Well, that's exactly what we want. So, yeah, we're just going to work our way through to this boss room again. Looks like we can dig for a little bit of treasure, but yeah, nothing else too crazy in this mini dungeon. We're just going to go straight through to the back room here, and I think this is some kind of mini boss, if my memory serves. So let us prepare for battle, video game warriors. Yep, so just some skeletons. This is like the skeleton that we fought earlier, but it's just 3 of them. Don't forget you've got like these pots and stuff around the sides of the room, so if you want to head around the sides and pick up these hearts, then absolutely go for it. But yeah, just same again as we did before, just look for the opening in the the skeleton's sort of like positioning. So just to the side there. Opening there to the bottom right, and then just backflip a couple of times. If you're not sure what the enemy's doing, just backflip a couple of times to get out of there, like so. So slice down the middle there, a couple of backflips. Don't forget you can shield up as well. Just going to jump to the side there. A couple of backflips. You can let go of ZL if you want to retarget. Don't forget you can let go of ZL and then press it again. It is a little bit tricky because, like, if you're attacking one, sometimes you hit the swords of the other one, which can be a bit of a pain. But if you're unsure, just backflip. That's one. A couple of backflips through the middle there. Bottom right. A couple of backflips. And there we go. So yeah, that is that. It just basically unlocks that back room and that back door. So we're just gonna work our way through there. That also just gave us some bombs as well. So I would imagine that bombs potentially could be useful in that battle. Not sure. Feel free to try bombs in that fight. Let me know in the comments how it goes. Sacred water is nearby. But yeah, if you've got any hints, tips, or combat tactics for that boss fight, that mini boss fight there, feel free to let us know, Video Game Warriors, in the comments. But yeah, other than that, we are going to go grab the sacred water. So all we need to do is head towards this sort of like back left section over here, where these fairies are, and then use the empty bottle. Like I say, don't forget you need an empty bottle for this section, and then scoop the water at this specific spot here, although it's very difficult to see as we're covered by a waterfall. This is indeed the sacred water that we came here looking for. So yeah, that's the sacred water. We're going to grab that, and then we're going to go and hand that in straight away. So I think that's going to teleport us out. Nice. So far so good. So we're going to go to the sky, and then yes, and return back to where that NPC was that wanted the sacred water. So if we pop back up to the sky and then turn around again and head back straight away into the giant beam of green light. Pop back down. Also, Video Game Warriors, if you do know anyone that may enjoy these guides and these videos, then please do feel free to share the video. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. So we need to go to the one that says Floria Waterfall, I believe it is. So we're going to go to Floria Waterfall and press yes. There we go. And that's going to drop us back to this section where we kind of like last left off. And then if we head back inside and talk to this NPC. But yeah, if you know anyone that may want to play through Skyward Sword and you know, want some help or some guidance along the way, then please do feel free to share these videos and this playlist with them. Thank you very much if you do. So yeah, in terms of the main quest here, just hand in the sacred water to this NPC. The NPC is going to be very excited about that, as you can probably tell. So that's going to like restore the health to this dragon. So health is restored. Dragon is very happy. We're very happy. We've helped out a sacred dragon. The dragon is then going to say, here you go. here's the entrance to the next dungeon. And we now have the ability to access it. So that is that. So we have the option of popping in there, but there also is loads of extras to go and grab, loads of goodies in the sky, side quests, and all that good stuff. Video game warriors. I love the art on this game, it's so beautiful. However, I think what we shall do here, video game warriors, is wrap this one up. Please do pop the video a like if you have enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from me, pop a comment and let me know how you're getting on with Skyward Sword so far. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.